My name is Caleb Amaral, and I'm from Lakeville, Massachusetts.
Stephen Place from Lakeville, Massachusetts.
I went on a cross-country trip called Jogging for Jesus, which my grandfather went from his home in Lakeville, Massachusetts to San Diego, California.
The purpose of the trip was very simple. I jogged across this country for Jesus with a simple message: back to Pentecost.
The purpose of the trip, in my grandfather's own words, was to start a fire across the country. He wanted to spread Christianity and spirituality and the words of God and so on and so forth.
I mean, it simply means that we need to get back to the original church, which happened shortly after Pentecost, explained in the book of Acts.
Well, my grandfather has been a saved man for as long as I've known him. I think it's about 30 plus years. And he's always wanted to kind of do something like this ever since my grandmother got sick, and she was sick for about 10 years. And when she finally passed in August of the year prior to the trip, he just decided to go out and do it.
So this is what I'm advocating, that we get back to in this country, because this country is going to hell in a handbasket, to tell you the truth. Not only this country, but the whole world, actually.
Well, we went into Alabama. We were probably in Alabama for about a week. My grandfather was jogging along the road one day and happened to be spotted by...
I was called off the highway by a couple in Alabama, just before the Mississippi line. And she come up to me with her son in a pickup truck.
Son, Mindy and Dalton Estes, and both spiritual people.
She says, "I've read your shirt," she says, "but I need more specifics. I know you're jogging for Jesus, but what's the full story?" So I told her, just exactly as I told you, jogging for Jesus across this country with the avocation, get back to Pentecost. And she told me after I said that, she says, "You have a divine appointment at my house."
And they happened to be right along our route, so they flagged my grandfather down one day, offered for him to come in.
The whole family all in a circle outside with a bunch of the neighbors as well, waiting to hear what God had to say to them through me.
And talk with the whole family, have some food. He called me, I met up with them, and it just, one thing led to another, and we just ended up prolonging our stay for about a month.
Because God would not let me leave that home. I tried to leave the next day, and I got stuck in a ditch in the driveway and tore the pipe out of the septic system. Now, the father of the son, Ray, had told me, he says, "I don't care if you're halfway across this country. You have a problem," he says, "you call me up, I'll be there." So I called him up, and he come down with his four-wheel drive truck, towed me out, got me back to his place, and just happened to have expertise in fiberglass repair. Wow. Just happened to have. So he's working on the truck, fixing up the tank, right, and a few other things for me. But I feel that God kept me there for a very specific reason, because this couple, though Christian, were going to split.
Yeah, we originally were just going to go west, and we made it as far as Pennsylvania, and just the weather itself kind of halted our progress, and we decided to go south on a beeline, and got into South Carolina. And then from South Carolina, we followed the whole southern coast into California.
Starting out across the country, I left on, like I said, October the 16th. And the foliage was absolutely gorgeous all the way across New England and even down into the south, And at places, I had to stop and just cry because it was so beautiful, And all kinds of things along the way, and that you would never see if you were driving in an automobile, Like I come up against this guardrail, and I think it was in New York. And there's a guard railing going down across the side of the road. It was a square railing, tube, right? And maple leaves had fallen on the top of this guard railing, right? And there was a reaction between the leaves and the paint, and it left the full imprint of all these maple leaves all along the top of this railing, right? And then they blew away, and left the full imprint. So I got pictures of that. I got pictures of just amazing, photos of the foliage and just super stuff.
Yeah, we were actually a part of the biggest snowstorm.
Oh my God, dude.
2 to 3 inch per hour snowfall rates plus hurricane force wind gusts were clocked in
Amarillo, Texas, in about 20 years, something like that.
More than a foot of snow and 77-mile-per-hour wind gusts combined to create whiteout conditions, shutting down every road in the Texas-Oklahoma Panhandle.
Windy, that there were about 4-foot drifts that were forming because of the wind, and we were trapped in a RV park for I want to say 3 days. Unopportune time with we were actually there throughout all of Hurricane Sandy, so just that area alone was a hassle because of the damage and just the tension.
Yeah, we were in an A&P parking lot. I think it was an A&P parking lot in New Jersey, right in the height of Sandy. Yeah, so we started out just parking in the lot, and they said they were going to make a shelter, if necessary, out of this one building that was right alongside the A&P. So we parked right there, just in case, right? So we got a couple of gusts, pretty good gusts. I'd say 85 miles an hour. Hit the side of the RV and kind of rocked it pretty good. I go, whoa, we better turn this thing around and back it into the wind. So that's what I did, and we sustained no damage, fortunately. So, but Caleb got some tremendous shots of wires arcing everywhere, where the tree branches come down on it, He went out after dark, and he gets some really good shots.
That was caused from the aftermath of the storm. It was just people were struggling, and it was just not the best time to go through that area. We found out about the Sandy Hook shootings. I was sitting, I believe, in a McDonald's, and I was using my computer, getting some writing done, and they happened to show it on the TV.
That school this morning, Sandy Hook Elementary School, and initial reports had said he went first into the administration office, and then there had been other reports that he went directly to a kindergarten. What we now believe, as we await the official word from police, is that he walked into a kindergarten classroom and took out any place between 2 and 4 weapons, at least 2 of which were semi-automatic weapons, was wearing all black, was wearing combat gear, had a military-style vest on, and started shooting.
And I was just like appalled, I couldn't believe it. And met up with my grandfather, and we got into, a massive debate about, let's say, God's plan and so on and so forth. And it turned into a good, hour-long, heated debate. And it was just, moments like that, where him and I would just differ on spirituality and, just the idea of the existence of God. And
I should say the front first.
And I think that he really did believe that he was, in a way, he was being a prophet. A modern-day prophet, spreading the...
The Lord of hosts will do battle for us. Behold his mighty hand. God opens the sea with the blast of his nostrils.
Wandering in the desert, murmuring against God. We're sick of this manna from heaven.
Ideal, and he used it as sort of like a gimmick. He had the long hair, and he let his beard grow out, and he had, the...
They're all being bitten by the poisonous snakes and dying. Moses, who was God's friend, goes to God. He spoke face to face.
you know, walking up towards you, I mean, 9 times out of 10, you're going to stop him and you're going to ask him what his deal is. And that's, you know, I mean, it was usually the stick. You know, people would go, oh, that's a nice stick. Did you make it yourself? And that's when, you know, my grandfather, I had his whole routine down. You know, I could have gone out there and strapped a crazy beard on my face, and I could have done him. You know, I could have done my best impersonation of him. So, I mean, it was definitely, he was definitely striking. To be honest with you, it was weird. It was weird being home because I was gone for so long. I got in at 5 o'clock with about, you know, like 48 hours, very limited sleep. Took a shower, laid down for about an hour and a half, and then I was up right away to actually babysit my brothers so my mother could run errands. So I was working on about an hour and a half of sleep. But it was awesome seeing everybody again. Like, it was weird how much 6 months had changed everyone. You know, just like everybody, they kind of looked different, and you know, the way that they acted. And it took me a while to get adjusted to being back home, you know, and to live like I was living before I left.